Hello YouTube. In this video we're going to compare the Absera Beauty to the Derwent Onyx. This says dark. This says dark. So let's go right into it. Okay, to start off, now there's a video on each one of these pencils in my playlist for this channel, but I'll just go over each pencil individually here right now. The Absera Beauty, which comes from India, if we can get it to focus here, is a beautiful looking pencil, and this one happens to be called the Beauty. It has this nice black lacquer finish. The gold lettering that you see here with the dark writing listed here, Absera Beauty. A couple of red little slashes, which is a really nice accent. And then it has this nice little red dip cap here. So it's very nice. And it's a soft, dark graphite core. And then we have the Derwent Onyx. It's a drawing pencil, and as you can see, it's from England, and it's basically a flatter matted black paint job with a dark green stripe, as you can see here. And in both cases, both of these pencils do not have the erasers. It has a thicker core, as you can see here. We can get that to come in. I'm going to actually increase the lighting here because it's gotten dark all of a sudden. But you can see that there is a big difference in core size here, with the Derwent Onyx being the really thick core, because it's supposed to be a softer, darker pencil. And we will see in this comparison if that's the case. So to get started, I decided to bring in this little sharpener here that I had done in a video some months ago, the Tonal, and it's a multi sharpener. It's called right there, multi sharpener. And you have all these settings from 1 to 5, and we'll be going with 5 because I want the longest point. And so let me go ahead and start with the Absera Beauty. We'll go ahead and sharpen that. See how that comes out. Okay, so there you go. That's all nice and sharp. Now, as you can tell, this is not a long point sharpener. This is a standard point sharpener, but it's nice and easy to put in your pocket, and you just undo it here. You can dump out all the shavings, so it's pretty cool. And then we'll go ahead and sharpen the Derwent. Okay, and then there's the point for the Derwent. Big thick core. Alright, now I'm going to start by just doing a quick writing test with both and see if I can get a an impression as to what I feel feels the best writing wise. Although the Derwent is not designed actually as a writing pencil, but at least it will let me know how it feels as far as the soft lead and the tonal value and so forth. So we'll start with this. This is the Derwent Onyx Dark, made in England. Okay, let's see, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. That's probably enough. Okay, now it doesn't write rough, but it does seem to have kind of a drag to it, like it's dragging in the mud. It doesn't just flow across the paper. It doesn't have a scratchiness to it, but it just doesn't feel as if it's buttery, you might say. It actually, it's like I'm building the muscles in my fingers just dragging this pencil across the page. Seriously, it just has this sensation that I need to have two horses pulling this thing to get it across the page. Of course, I'm exaggerating there, but I cannot see myself spending 5-10 minutes writing notes with this. This is more of a drawing pencil, and I will be going into that phase of the test later on in this video. But for now, let's just move along. There you go. Go on, go on. Okay, you sit. Don't move. Now, let's take a look at the Absera Beauty, which is designed for writing. The Absera, oh, I can tell right off the bat, major difference. Dark writing. Okay, now, this does not have that resistance that the Derwent has, and one of the things that I believe contributes to the difference is that it has less of a core. The big core of the Derwent, because it doesn't have any kind of wax involved in the composition here, I have to drag more of it, whereas this is a lot smoother. It's a smoother, more enjoyable write. Okay. Now, as far as the darkness is concerned, if you can see, it pretty much is a wash as far as using the naked eye here to try to determine which is darker. They appear very much the same. This just is so much nicer to write with than this. But this is not a writing pencil, to be fair, so it's not apples to apples. Okay, but it says dark and this says dark, and that's why I'm comparing these two pencils. Now let's go on to some drawing paper. I'm going to pull the camera away here so we can get it all in. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is just kind of do a little shading exercise here with the Derwent and kind of get a feel for what it feels like to me to use this for drawing. Okay, I'm just going to do some basic shading here. No pressure. Kind of like when I'm doing the MB grading, where I just put down some value and get a feel. Now, when you're not putting any pressure down because you're not writing a letter or notes with this, it glides just fine. It's really nice and smooth. The value that it lays down is not really that dark, although I'm not pressing into the paper at all. I'm just lightly holding it, as you can see in the back here. I'm just lightly holding it and just letting the pencil glide on the paper. You know, and as I did state in that one video about this particular pencil, it was actually the first, I believe it was the first video that I've done on pencils was on the Derwent Onyx. And the only reason I did a video on pencils in the first place, so I probably should thank the Onyx, because I wasn't really doing videos on pencils until I wanted to talk about this particular pencil, because I went out and spent $75 for a whole thing of pencils, and they basically advertised it darker than a 9B, and well, you should watch that video if you want to hear my rants about it. But anyway, we're comparing it to this pencil here, the Absera, so I'll stay on point here, no pun intended. Let's see. I'm just laying down some shading here, nothing major, no, I'm not drawing anything. Or I'm drawing nothing. This is my impression of what nothing is. How's that? Okay. So I've drawn that. Let me bring this up a little closer now. See, it's not that dark, is it? It really isn't. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to see if I can increase the darkness here by just layering. This is where you just kind of go on top here and add some more value. See, it looks like I caught a little something right there because it got really dark all of a sudden. So that's really weird, and that came off my pencil there. I don't see why I ended up getting. Can you see that dark spot right there? That just, it's like it just hit this little pothole of soft graphite that just came out. This right here, this little spick you see right here, this of graphite. See, that's what it wanted to be when it grows up, is to produce this darker shade here. That's what I would have expected from a dark pencil where it says dark. See, is that right there? But I don't know how that happened, but the rest of it is just not coming out like that. So that's a little weird. Anyway, we'll just ignore that for now. It's the little choo-choo that wanted to be, or could, or whatever. Okay, so I'm getting a little more graphite in here. Now, if I put force in it, I can get it dark. Okay, you see that? I can do that. But see, this kind of drawing, you're digging into the paper, you're flattening the tooth of the paper, and this is not how you should have to get your dark. You should be able to get your dark from just gliding your pencil on the paper. And to prove my point, here's the drawing kit here, and for example, I take this, it's not sharpened, let me sharpen it. Take this Mitsubishi pencil here, I'm going to show you. Alright, and it's also a thick core pencil, to be fair. It's a thick core, okay? And I'm going to hold it in the back. Okay, you see that? Holding it way in the back so I can't put pressure on it. And there you go, right there. See, that's dark. And of course, if I start to do what I did with the Onyx, you know that's going to get dark, right? Okay. So, just so that you can see that I'm not just being unfair to this Derwent. Now, next is going back to the Absera Beauty pencil, dark writing. Now let's see how it does with the light touch in comparison to the Derwent here. Now I don't know if you can see this in the camera. And make that comparison. But that seems a little bit darker than that to me. So and this is not a drawing pencil. You can draw with it, of course, but it is not a drawing pencil, and it's going on smooth, which means I can draw with this all day long, no problem. But it is definitely coming on strong as as a dark pencil. Not as dark as this one, of course. This was a 10B from the Mitsubishi box. Just wanted to show what a dark pencil should do, especially if it's a drawing pencil. Okay, well look at that. So you can definitely see a difference between those two. Now, my final thing, of course, is to do the MB grading. So I will go ahead and tear that paper off. Better yet, I'll just take a used one here so I don't waste precious paper. We'll start with the Derwent again. And now I'm going to go ahead and make those swatches, and then we're going to put this under the light box. Alright, oh, now I know why I need that paper. I need to put that on top. Here we go. And let's get to it. Okay, I don't think we need a light box for this. It's pretty clear, the winner here. And I went over this again, as you've seen, because it was just way lighter, and I just want to make sure it's completely saturated. And then, just to be fair, I gave that all it could take. I came back to do this, but it wasn't getting any darker anyway, so I kind of gave up. So that's the maximum I got from both of those. And if you can see that, and I think you should be able to, the Absera Beauty is clearly the darker pencil. Clearly the darker pencil. Now let's go and see how it compares on the light box. Grab me a pair of scissors. And we're going to go ahead and cut these test strips out. The Derwent. Graphite itself on the edge there so that it goes all the way to the end, and we'll do the same here. That way we have an end to actually compare with. Okay, cleanup time, and then alright, put them together. Let's scan up. There we go. Derwent on the left. Absera Beauty on the right. Clearly that is a much richer, darker tonal value than the so-called Derwent Dark, which is the one on the left right here. And its job, it's a drawing pencil. It's supposed to be dark, and yet here's a writing pencil that is way darker. And time to turn the light off. Turn the light on, the light box. Let's get with the actual NB testing. So, with the Absera, and we will focus. There we go. Okay, the Absera is on the right, and as you can see, the right is darker than the left. So the Absera is mildly darker than the rated HB. Now, as you can see here, the B is on the left, the Absera is on the right, and the B is slightly darker than the Absera. The left is slightly darker if you were to squint your eyes, but it is very close. So it's almost a B, but not quite a B. So let's just say, because it's nowhere near an HB, it's definitely darker than the HB. We're going to call this a B minus because it's just slightly off the B. Now, this is the hilarious part. Here is the Onyx Dark. And we're going to put it up to the HB. And I think you can see already that it is not as dark as an HB. And if you look at their advertising on the website, it says as dark as a 9B. A 9B, it can't even make an HB. Look at that. The HB on the left is darker than the Derwent Dark. And so obviously the Derwent Medium pencil, which is the other one that comes into this case of pencils here, is going to be even lighter than this HB. And that's just terrible, terrible. Okay, let's go ahead and turn this off. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, and here we go. And we're going to put it up right there. And we're going to zoom it. Don't worry, we'll zoom it in a minute. Here we go. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, let's get in the zoom. Let's get in focus here. There we go. Derwent on the right. Okay. We have the my test strip is too long for this thing here. It's bunching up at the end. I can't move the camera, so I'm going to have to kind of hold this the best I can here. Oh boy. Look at that, boys and girls. See what I see? Your Derwent Onyx Dark is nothing more than a H. An H. Look at that. It's a perfect match. It's an H. Now you know why I'm so frustrated with them. Okay. So it gets an H! Exclamation mark. The Derwent Onyx Dark. The Absera Beauty Dark Writing. There you go, folks. I've pretty much run it through the gamut. And there you have the final result. If you like this comparison review, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. There's a little button right there somewhere. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.